All right, thanks everybody for coming. We'll start with men's hockey, and after an 8-game homestand, the Badgers are traveling to Columbus this weekend for a Big Ten series against Ohio State. Face-off Fridays at 5:30, and the game will air live on BTN, and Saturday's game is at 6 p.m. Head coach Mike Eaves is here, and we'll take your questions.
Yeah, among the themes you could have for this season, resiliency would be one with this team, wouldn't you say?
Well, if it wasn't when we started, it's certainly one that we have to build and include in our repertoire. We've demonstrated that. It's interesting, over the last 24 hours, I've had several people, alumni, guys that know hockey, reach out, said they saw the games this weekend and said we deserve better, we're doing good things. And sometimes, that's an important message to carry to the kids because they, as we do, are measured by our wins and losses. And the fact that people are reaching out and say, hey, you're doing good things and you just got to keep pounding away is a message that we will carry to our kids today and get back to work and keep forging the kind of hockey team that we want to become.
Andy in the back.
Mike, as you're given your experience as a player and a coach, in moments like this, which group is harder to boost up when things are like this? Is it the young guys or is it the veterans who've been around for a while?
The first thing that comes to mind is the maturity of the player you're talking about, whether it's a senior or freshman. I think that maturity helps him understand a bigger picture. If a younger guy understands the big picture, then he's going to be okay. He gets it. If it's a senior, you'd hope that he's been around, that he would understand that big picture. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge to your makeup and how you deal with these things. And you could take a look at history, and history is such a great teacher, as we know. And you think about what Churchill had to do with England during the bombings. We've actually quoted Churchill during this stretch that you just got to keep going. You never, never, never give up, and you just persist. And that's kind of the message that we have to our guys. But to your question, I think it depends on the maturity of the person that you're talking about, how they handle it.
Dennis.
You did a little shuffling with your lines last weekend. Did you like what you saw? Is that something that you'll continue to do as you play it out here?
Well, I think we'll start this week with the lines that we ended up having on Saturday. I thought actually that Seamus Malone with Rocky and Solway was very dynamic on Saturday. They not only for scoring the only goal that we had, but they carried that through. I thought that Zerbel's line gave us really good energy all weekend in their role on our team. They're our energy line, and they went in and created stuff, played in the other zone, and did really good things. So the lines that we start with this week will be similar to what we ended the weekend with.
Andy.
Mike, to use one of your favorite analogies with regards to mountain climbing, which one of your freshmen has made the highest climb this year?
Ooh. Well, the steepest climb has been for Matty Jurisic, I think, in the net because of the responsibility that's on a goaltender's shoulder. So, and I think he's faring pretty well. I mean, there are games that you would say as he's climbing his mountain, he's got a lot of storms that he's had to go through, and he's still on the side of the mountain, and he's making progress up that darn thing. So of all the guys, I think he's had the steepest climb and is still on the mountain climbing.
Brian.
Which freshman then has made, maybe a consistent leap in his play? Can you pick one out?
Oh, boy. The one guy that comes to mind here recently is Will Johnson. I thought on Saturday night, especially in the third period, he rose to another level. So I think he's been making a steady climb, but I think as he's become more comfortable and understanding what he can do at this level, I thought his ability, one of his strengths is his skating ability, and although he's not the biggest guy, I thought on Saturday night he was able to get that quick little body inside of people and win puck races and battles, which is something that we've been focusing on. Did a great job that way, so he comes to mind right away.
One of the challenges going to Columbus, oftentimes, they've been struggling a bit this season. It's not a lot of fans show up for games like that down there. You really do kind of have to get yourself mentally prepared for that, don't you?
Yeah, Friday nights, their crowds are very similar to ours. Our Saturday night crowds tend to be a little bigger, and that's certainly the case there. But playing Ohio State, they're a team that can get up and down the ice. I mean, they get spanked on Friday night at Penn State, come back and win 7-4. They have the ability to play wide open, and if you're sloppy, they can score. They're opportunistic, and they can score. So we need to continue to do what we've been doing and preaching about playing the right way, playing hard and smart, and as a team to give ourselves a chance to keep forging ourselves into the type of team that we want to be.